before we like start talking, I was thinking that when we first started, I was like, okay, I feel so safe talking because Hank will edit stuff out.
I know.
And then
he didn't edit it out.
And now he's like, I feel like it's not.
I know, but
he's like out to get me.
No, he's only doing things where he thinks it's like cute or funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like other people will like it. Even
other people will think it's funny. That's Hank's whole thing.
I know. So now it's like this. I'm like, when I listen to the episode,
you're like, what's gonna be?
Yeah, I know. I don't think he's gonna listen to our word.
He's gonna be like, I'm the producer.
Right. He's like, I decide.
I know what works.
What goes in.
Which is true.
Yeah.
He is right.
Yeah. Anyways,
Hank. If we say something bad, edit it out.
But you probably won't.
So what do we want to start with?
I don't know. I feel nervous.
So do I.
Really?
Yeah, kind of.
Why?
I don't know. Because we didn't really come up with a plan. I guess we haven't really come up with a plan for any of the things we've been doing.
I feel like my heart is like...
Is it?
Yeah. Because I just feel like there are things in your head I don't know.
Like what? Do you want to ask me?
I want you to tell me.
Some things. Well, I can tell you last night was like hard because I don't know how like honest I should be on this.
Well, you can just be honest and then we hope.
Yeah, like what if like a client like sees this?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I talked about it when I like thought I miscarried.
Right.
And I had blood rushing from my body during a session. And I know exactly who that is. And
right. Mine's more about getting high. So I don't know. It's not really like the same thing. It's not like a crisis.
Okay, fine. Okay, just say it.
But anyways, so I've been really tired during the day, which I hate, as you know. And so I've been taking naps, but like long naps. And then I feel like it's impacting my sleep at night.
That makes sense.
Obviously. So I'm like still getting in bed early and like trying to go to bed early. And I see a weed doctor and she's a real doctor.
Yeah, this is not you getting high.
She's not, like basically it is, but like I'm not using it for psychological or psychedelic like purposes. I'm like really using it to help me sleep and like improve my appetite.
Right. I'm not trying to get like a different sense of reality.
Definitely not. I already have that on the daily. So I like have been waking up, so I'll fall asleep. And then I'll wake up and like she wanted me to like incrementally go up. So it's like now it's like I take it and I like immediately go to sleep because like I don't want the effects
that sucks. Because like,
but the problem is like, for example, night before Brody's birthday, he wakes up at midnight and I'm like not in my right mind.
Why don't you wake Hank up?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I think I need to have an intervention.
I'm just like, okay, no, sorry, it wasn't. It was, I accidentally woke him up because I thought he was going to suffocate with the blanket. And so I moved the blanket off.
You had like a paranoid thought?
No. Like he legit wasn't moving. The blanket was fully over his head. And for like 10 minutes I waited. I was like, I'm not going to like go in there. That's silly. Yeah. But then after 10 minutes I was like, okay, I like don't really feel comfortable falling asleep.
Oh yeah.
Before. So this was actually, I never fell asleep.
Did you wake him up?
Yeah. So I went in there. This is the night before his birthday party.
No.
I go in there. I like quickly try to move. Okay. But also like I don't move well in the dark now.
Oh no.
And I was a little high.
Oh no.
So I fully woke him up.
What'd you do?
I don't know. I like accidentally touched his head instead of the blanket. And then.
But he freaked out?
He was like, hi, mommy.
Oh my God. Like, you're like, fuck.
Yeah. I was like, hi, Brody. It's night time to go to sleep. And he's like, mommy, pick me up.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
Brody's
okay.
like really doesn't do well. Like when he gets woken up. But
yeah.
That's because Emma would
not wake up.
No.
I've done that many times where he does not wake up, but I was probably a little off this time. Yeah, and Hank was like, don't go in there. I don't think you should. And so I couldn't be like, okay, now you fix the problem. Yeah. Like I fully woke him up. So then for the next 3 hours, it was just like me awake with Brody and like him like I'm like pretty high and I'm having like a lot of existential thoughts. So then I'm just like holding him and I'm just like,
do you feel like high in your body too?
Yeah, like my body feels so heavy. And then also I'm having existential thoughts. And so I'm just like, what is life? Like, what is real?
So these are high thoughts.
Yeah. They're not like existential thoughts like about my own life necessarily, but they're just like normal existential high thoughts.
Like the same or different than your like high school high thoughts.
They're similar, and I did not like those.
Right.
So now I'm just like, now I'm awake and I'm having to take care of a baby that doesn't want to sleep, and I'm having them.
That sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, like I've just been, so like the past few nights I've just been like waking up, and then I'll like just be really high. And then I'm like, I literally cannot sleep.
Okay, I think we need to call Weed Doctor.
I think the problem is that I'm taking naps during the day.
Oh.
Like I really think that's the problem.
Well, it's like, okay, so what can you do to then not nap?
I need to just not do it. Just don't. Like, don't be home, I think, is
the
goal.
You can come here and I'll keep you up.
Because, like, if I go home, my bed is right there.
Sure.
It's so easy.
Yeah, of course.
To just take a quick nap.
Well, it's not so quick, I guess.
No, they're long naps, like 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, 2 hours is like...
That's like good for a baby.
I mean, I was gonna say, that's an Emma good nap.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. They say for adults,
like 45 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's what Ramsey like sets timers for 20 minutes.
Right, but I don't think I even fall asleep within the timer.
Right, and then it sucks, and you're like, why did I do
Right,
this?
but then like for example, the other night, I on Brody's actual birthday took a quick nap. What I thought was going to be a quick nap. Slept through my alarm.
Oh no!
Almost was late picking him up.
Oh shit!
And then. Yeah, and then we were like going to Alex's.
Oh, that was like late too.
Yeah.
Like a late nap.
Yes. I like was like, I'm going to close my eyes for 10 minutes. Hank was sleeping. So I was like, I'm going to close my eyes for 10 minutes. No, he's like, you're setting an alarm? I'm like, yep. And then fully, like 45 minutes later, just fully, yeah. Anyways, so sleep.
Okay.
A little
but
off.
That wasn't really what we were talking about.
You didn't like that tangent?
I mean, I thought we were getting somewhere else.
Oh, I mean...
Because I said, like, I feel like there are thoughts in your head.
Right. So the thoughts
that's like
in my head...
High, like, you being high is not...
I think when I'm high like that, though, I get a little bit sad. And then I just feel like I want to hold my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in those moments, I'm like, oh, like, I'll just hold you. I'll sleep in your crib.
I
like,
know, you've been doing that recently.
Yeah. Like, it's not like really, like... It's not like I go into his crib to, like, sleep. But it's like if I accidentally wake him up...
Yeah.
And then he asks me to sleep in his crib, I will oblige.
Yeah.
So.
What kind of sad?
Just like sad for him. Like just thinking about like he's only going to get more aware. Like right now he has no idea.
Yeah.
What's happening. And I was listening to this podcast where someone was saying like their parent got in like a really bad accident when they were like young and they were like, I don't know, like 3. And the mom just was like kind of like in and out and like because of the accident, like not really around. And that hasn't been the case.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, she like kind of like rooted that back to like a lot of issues that she has. And I was just like, I like really don't want that for him.
Well, I feel like you've been like perspective taking, potential, like anticipating what Brody might be thinking when you're not here. Like when someone said, oh, I got kind of angry that in response to the other podcast episode around like, what would you think if your family member
declined treatment?
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone said like, oh, I might sometimes get angry. Like you consider what would Brody think?
Well, and I'm like, I also get it. Like I think I would maybe be angry too.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Hank and you and Alex and like my family are all supporting me not doing Optune is like very kind.
Well, it's not kind. It's like I totally get it.
I know, but like I don't know if I would be chill about it. Like I think I would maybe be not.
I don't know though.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Jordy, I literally saw you like running away from like sun patches and you were wearing it in the sun for like 5 minutes.
I know.
Then you're like, what is life?
Yeah.
Like it can extend your.
But then I'm like, I see people like doing things, but it's not. Yeah. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, and that's like okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, I just don't want him to feel like I didn't try.
Yeah. Well, if like you're not here, he has people to tell him.
Yeah.
That you did.
I know. So yeah, those have been my thoughts.
Yeah. Those are sad thoughts.
Yeah. I think I know what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
My scan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like pick up on like things. I just keep like in the peripheral.
Okay. Like
look
what?
at you. Well, just like if you drop something,
Did I drop something tonight?
yeah.
I did?
Yeah, but it's like silly because
What did I drop?
when we were in San Jose, and to my knowledge, I have no brain tumor.
Right.
I'm like leading us in the wrong direction and forgetting things.
Yeah.
So it's like that's normal.
Right.
But because you have brain cancer, it's like second guess literally.
So what did I
everything.
drop?
I don't know, like your phone. You're sitting in a chair.
Oh no, it slid off.
Right.
It didn't drop out of my left hand. It also
know.
fell off on the right
I
side
know.
of my body.
I know. That's what I'm saying though. I just see things in my peripheral. And I'm like,
Oh.
huh. Like
Yeah.
what's going on? And then I'm like, okay, nothing. But then I see you like holding your left hand.
Yeah, like I've told you I have like more heaviness and stuff in my left hand. But then I like go to physical therapy today and she's like, "You're stronger than you were
Wow.
like last time I checked you."
Did you tell her? Like,
Yeah, I was like, "Can you?" Well, I was just said like, "Do you notice a change?" And she was like, "No." She's like, "Let's check." So they have this thing where they like have you like squeeze this thing, and it basically shows like how much like weight you're putting down.
Yeah.
And so, before I was doing 65 pounds on each side, so they were even. Now I'm doing 70 pounds on each side.
Wow.
She's like, "Yeah, no, you're getting stronger." She's like, "Your dexterity seems better.
Wow.
Your balance isn't that off." So she's like, "I'm sure whatever you're feeling is like, real, but it's like how it's actually impacting me is not
It's not clear
at all,
yeah.
apparently." I feel...
Does that like make you then not trust?
Yeah, I don't trust my body at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that part's hard.
Okay, so like today, this is like different, but about trusting. So today I went to the eye doctor and they gave me new contacts to try and put in my eye. And I remember putting it, well, this also happened in San Jose.
When they fell out?
Yeah. So similar story. So I put contacts in and I'm like, oh, this feels really weird in my eye. And then I got dilated. So then it was time for me to take my contacts out. Yeah. The exam was over and it felt really weird. And I kept going back to my right eye and I'm like, I can't get the contact out. I'm like, I think it fell out, but I can't get it out.
Okay.
And then the, I don't know, eye
technician.
I don't know what to call them.
Okay.
Optometrist technician.
Yeah.
Was like, I see the contact. Let me try and get it out. So then she's in my eye.
Oh my God.
She's in my eye trying to take the contact out. And I was like, I really feel like the contact isn't there. And she goes, no, it's there. I'm going to call the doctor. So then to help you. Okay. So then she leaves. I'm like, Ramsey, I really feel like there's no contact in my eye. I feel like I'm right. And then the doctor comes in the office and starts pointing like lights in my eye and is like inspecting. And she goes, there's no contact.
Oh my God. So you were right.
I was right. That's what I'm saying though. Like it makes you very small. Like it's
but like
that feeling that I had for those 4 minutes, I felt like I was kind of going crazy.
Right. You're like, where is the contact? If I don't feel it, if I'm wrong about this, then
and I didn't see it fall out. I know I had it at some point.
Right.
So then you start like doubting things. Mm-hmm. And I know for you, it's like you are feeling things, but then you're also like thinking about it. And then other people are telling you things.
Totally. And it's like, mine is like I don't know what you would call it, like an invisible, it's not a disability, but like an invisible deficit, I guess. It's like, you can't tell from looking at me. Mm-hmm. You can't see that something's wrong.
Right.
So it's like, I don't have any proof.
Right.
It's just a feeling. Like, oh, my foot just feels more swollen. And then I look at my foot and it's not swollen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, does my foot feel more swollen because there was a change on my scan and now I'm more paranoid? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
I know. So I feel like we're reliving the 5 days in August.
Now it's like longer.
Now it's longer.
Yeah. How have you been doing?
I mean, okay, well, it's a long answer, but so from your last scan where they're like, there's a change. I mean, obviously that's like really scary.
Yeah.
And then I run into Alex basically, and we're like on this 10-minute walk. And then it's like, we're just talking about things. And then, like my fucked up brain goes to what because I started sending you screenshots.
Yeah.
I started like reading texts from August.
Yeah.
Like I started reliving those 5 days. I was like seeking out, what was I thinking during those 5 days?
You're like, why do I want to know?
What was I saying to people during those 5 days?
Yeah.
I don't know why, because our brains are messed up, but that's where I feel like I am right now.
You're living in August.
Yeah, like not to the same extent.
Yeah, because it's not as shocking.
And there's, I mean, it's the same in that there's like finding out information that could be good or bad.
Right.
But it's different in that, I don't know. I had a brain fart.
There's like
brain block.
I feel like there was like just so much uncertainty when I was originally diagnosed.
Yeah, I mean, like I was crying like every day.
Like nobody knew what life was going to look like, how I was going to be. Like there were just so many unknowns. And now it's like, oh, I've been living with this for 9 months.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah. So like we might get some like not great news, but like what does that actually look like, you know, in reality? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, just today's Wednesday. My scans.
I know, this is terrible.
Tuesday.
This is so it's so,
and it's like I understand
drawn out.
why they do it.
I don't.
I mean,
like,
it's insurance.
Get
and
you like 3 scans.
Yeah, no.
I honestly want to buy you an MRI to have in your
$750,000.
And I was like, how much is it? I was like, if it's 75, we can do it.
Yeah, no. I also don't know if that would be helpful for me.
For me,
Like every day I'll just go in and get an MRI with contrast. It's like really intense.
it'd be helpful for me.
I also like don't think you're supposed to have that much exposure.
Whatever. MRIs are less.
They are, but like that often every day.
I don't know. There's no research on it.
Yeah, most people don't do that.
We do trial of 1.
So, but then I don't know. I don't know. So what did you and Alex talk about?
Oh, well, it was, so we ran into each other and then we're just on this walk. And then at the end, I'm like, well, it's like really nice seeing you. You just leave like short of breath. And
it was like really heavy.
It wasn't really heavy. It was just like what we're talking about.
Right.
It just wasn't a nice walk.
Did she tell you her thoughts?
Well, she told me some thoughts. But
I mean, I know her thoughts.
Okay.
That she has a bad feeling.
Oh, well, she told me that, and that's when I said that.
But you have a bad feeling.
No, I don't.
Right.
But
right, when I was talking to her the other day, she's like, do you know that me and Erica have opposite feelings about everything? And I'm like, yep.
I know. When I told you that I had in my core a good feeling, you're like, are you just trying to protect yourself?
I know.
What do you I feel like you have a bad feeling.
I do.
Really? Mm-hmm. Why?
Just like the symptoms.
Really?
Headaches. Had the seizure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels too like coincidental, but then it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just hard because they can't like give me any definitive answer. Like the only way to know if it's actually something real is to open up my head again.
I don't
like,
know.
And it's like my thing isn't even considered the size of a regrowth. Like whatever it is not is not eligible really.
Right. Like it doesn't get you into any trials, or if it's not bad enough.
Well, right. It doesn't get me into any of the top trials that I would want to get into. Right. And obviously you don't want it to be bigger, but it's like, so there's a change and it's grown, but not enough for you to actually get good help. So yeah, it's just.
What does Hank think?
I don't think he has a strong feeling one way or the other. I think he's just kind of like, I'm not really going to think about it until we're like in it. And it's like, if we get news that it's like gotten bigger or whatever, then like we know that we have like multiple plan options. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, and I feel that way too. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like hard to imagine having another surgery. I think that's the part that.
Okay, well, that's not just there's so many.
There's so many parts, but I think about like those were really hard 6 weeks. I couldn't pick up Brody, and he's like
in a mommy phase.
Like, I mean, his whole life has been a mommy phase, but yes, like he can fully speak in sentences, and so then I'm gonna have to be like, "Mommy can't pick you up because why?" Right. You know, before it was just like, "Oh, Mommy can't pick you up." And I didn't need to like give him a reason.
Yeah. And in 9 months, it's different.
Yeah. He's like much bigger now. So, I mean, he's at daycare, which is helpful, obviously. But yeah, just like that would be like a whole other
know why
thing.
I feel like it's not.
I mean, that's great. I think that I like that you don't think that it is.
Yeah.
Because like also I've been wrong in the past. Like I had bad feelings before every scan.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like I'm having more tingling in my whatever. And then like the scan was like completely unchanged.
Right. Yeah. I just like have this image, like you walking in
and him being like,
it's clear.
It's good. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm terrified for the opposite.
I know.
But I'm just like imagining that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Your mom would say you should keep manifesting it.
Okay, I will.
The woo woo.
The woo woo.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I hope that's it. And also I'm going to be like a hawk on my phone. Like I canceled all my sessions.
Oh God. That like
cleared
makes
my
me so
afternoon.
sad.
I know, but that's the reality.
That's the life.
I mean, you would do the same.
No, for sure. I'm lucky to have people that love me so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just thinking of like, I don't know.
I know. I know it's stressful. I think you've been more stressed about it than me.
Yeah, I don't really know why. I don't know. I think you're saying like you're in acceptance, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay.
You're like, cool, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, good thing I have therapy tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like
for some reason, I don't know, I keep going like, well, what do you think? I mean, because you are the expert on your body, but for some reason, I feel like you could just like look inside.
I wish.
And just tell me.
But that's the part that's so frustrating because I feel like up until this point, I was like pretty attuned with my body. Mm-hmm. And now I'm not.
I think that's like what the treatment and the drugs do to you.
Like for sure.
Right?
And I think just the experience of like not really having very intense symptoms and then being diagnosed with a terminal illness. It's like, oh, like I didn't pick up on that.
Right.
Like, how did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, it being in like your sensory cortex, it's like we can feel sensory things all the time.
Right.
And when people talk about them finding out, it's like they have a full body seizure and they lose consciousness. Like that's the story.
Totally. Or like massive headaches or like throwing up or like these like really intense things because it's not typically in the part of my brain where mine is. Mm-hmm. Usually it's like in your frontal lobe, which is like more of like your
personality changes.
Yeah, like your cognitive functioning. So like I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
But like I obviously knew something was off and I'm glad that it only took 6 weeks from onset of symptoms to finding out that I had it. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, like is my arm heavier or like.
But that symptoms aren't worse.
Than what?
Than
they ever were?
4 weeks ago.
Than 4 weeks ago? What was 4 weeks ago?
I don't know.
I think they moved up my scan because my symptoms were worse.
Right. Since then,
no, it's like the same. It's just, but like the other thing is I don't necessarily know that these symptoms are like supposed to, like, I think they're transient is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think that they can sometimes feel less and sometimes feel more. I've experienced that so much throughout this process. So it's like anything could change. Like if I'm more tired, if I'm sick, like anything could change the sensory feeling. So it's like,
but I'm saying if you had a tumor, like in 6 weeks in August, here's me trying to be a detective.
I know.
So
you're trying to make sense of it.
The symptoms got significantly worse.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I haven't had any
and that's
seizures
not happening.
No, I haven't had any seizures. It's not like I've had worse headaches than I had when I moved my scan up. Mm-hmm. I'm tired, but I'm also not sleeping very well.
Right.
And 2-year-olds are a lot, as we both know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel like what it felt like then. I mean, like I was having like 6 or 7 seizures a day at that point. And it doesn't, like from the scan, it doesn't look like a tumor.
Right. They just don't know. Is it the start?
Right. They're just like, what is it? Like, is it just some sort of change?
I have this idea that it's just not.
Right. I mean, like, it could be. He was like, we could get in there and see nothing. We could
get in there.
Like see the scan, not get in there.
I'm like,
no.
I'm like, whoa.
But it just feels like very, like, it's like, okay, so if they find something, then they're like, oh, you can like do a Keytruda infusion that day.
I know. That's
and I'm just like, I don't like feel like I want to commit to a Keytruda infusion. Like,
what is Keytruda? And it's like an immunotherapy.
It's immunotherapy.
But what does it do to you?
I don't know, like probably similar symptoms to like chemo.
Fun.
Yeah. I like don't think it's like the most fun, but it is a very successful drug. It's FDA approved. So it's like none of this is like a phase 1 safety situation clinical trial. So I mean that's like a relief in a sense. But like to do this trial with Keytruda, I have to have surgery. So which means they would have to see, like, if it just looks exactly the same, they're not going to do it. And we would just watch it again and in 4 weeks do another scan and see. But if it has gotten bigger, then, and it has a lot of glucose activity or like blood flow activity, then that would be an indicator that it's probably a tumor.
Okay, so let's say Tuesday. Find out good news, bad news, stagnant. What, like, so we're hanging out?
Yeah, we're hanging out. I already discussed it with Hank.
Okay.
He was on board. He was like, yeah, of course.
And then what?
And then what do we do? Like,
I don't know.
So I think this is my plan. I really like my doctor at Cedars, but obviously if I have recurrence, I like want a lot of people's opinions.
Now I have a parking pass at UCLA.
Yeah.
I actually, so this is how insane I am. Okay. So they have, as part of my,
I feel like you've just stayed on so that you can like get the UCLA medical perks.
Pass. Okay. So he was like, yeah, we're just like wanting to know like if the supervisors will actually be using the annual parking pass. If not, then you can get a complimentary parking pass for the days you come, but you just need to email them like two days in advance.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, like if you're getting into a trial.
Just keeping your options open.
And so I said, just want to be upfront, like for supervision purposes, I will not be using it this many times, but there might be some personal medical reasons for a friend that I might need to use it more.
What did they say?
He's like, absolutely.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. So anyway, back to, we can,
Yeah, that's really nice. So anyways, I think
my parking pass.
What happens is if we get the bad news, then, which we are not hoping to get, then I would want to send the scans to the other 2 teams I've met with and see what their thoughts are, because I'm just curious if they've had different approaches or not.
So then you wouldn't like do the Keytruda?
No, I'm like, that's why I'm like, I'm not going to just do the Keytruda like that day. Like, I feel like I need to like consult. And
I mean, that sounds like you don't want to do anything impulsive.
No, and also like if it's gotten like much bigger, then like that does put me in the eligibility criteria for like a lot of other things. I don't want it to have gotten a lot bigger, obviously.
I know. I just think that if it was a lot bigger, then you'd be having more symptoms.
Like, so I agree with you, but I'm also on like a lot of anti-seizure medication. So,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's like my one thing. I'm like, if I start having breakthrough seizures, there's probably a big problem.
So here's a question.
Okay.
No, this is not about you. This is about your tumor.
Okay.
Potentially. Like tumor cavity.
Okay.
There's enhancement in the cavity.
It's like right on the outside, like right on the border.
So the cavity means what's there?
The cavity is the empty space.
So what is it?
It's just empty space.
No, but
it's just missing brain.
So is it like air?
I don't know. Fluid, probably.
Fluid.
I have no
idea.
idea.
More sense than air.
Probably not air. I think if there was air in my brain, that would be bad.
Fluid.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, because when I saw it, I'm like, okay, I see this black
hole,
but like, what is it? And if a tumor was just right there, then like, would it be so bad if it was just right there?
Oh no, like I mean, the good. Here we go. Like we're gonna look for some silver linings here, and this is appropriate because it's my own diagnosis.
Yeah,
but if I had gone into the scan and they had found something in another part of my brain,
that would have been.
That's really bad. because then it's considered multifocal. Worse outcomes.
Yeah.
I mean, all the outcomes are bad, but
Yeah.
worse outcomes. So the fact that it's right where I've had like a lot of trauma is the best case scenario for there to be a change. The fact that it's small, I mean, I think it's like 0.8 centimeters by 0.2 or something. Like, it's very thin. Not even a centimeter either way.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like they could easily operate again. It's fine, you can yawn.
Okay.
They could easily operate again, which is like why they would do it. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's in a spot where they could easily get it. But it's just like a lot of what?
No, I'm just thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking.
Your face is like
Well, yeah, because it's like, I was just thinking actually of like your skull coming
out.
off.
I know. And I was just like, I feel like I'm just getting my hair,
I know.
which is like the least of my worries.
But it's like kind of
course.
nice to like focus on that.
Right. I'm like, oh, like I have hair again. That's cool.
Yeah, we're like,
Then
what
I'm going to
color
have
is it
to
gonna
get
be?
localized radiation treatments.
But I really just, I'm going back to.
I know you're going back to your, you know what? We talked to someone this morning and she had a
yeah.
phrase that she used.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. And so we can
Be cautious.
be cautiously optimistic. I mean, why not believe that it
Right.
could be good? I'm not walking around being like, oh my God, like
I know.
this is probably so horrible.
Do you think you'll like here's, because I just wonder if, I don't want to keep talking about potentially getting bad news because I really don't want that to be that. So this is the last thing I'm going to say about
Okay.
potentially bad news.
Okay.
It's like, do you think you would cry?
I feel like you want me to say yes, but I don't.
No, I feel like you wouldn't.
No. I feel like you want me to say yes, but I don't think I would cry.
Yeah. So then like if we hang out on Tuesday, is it just gonna
Like, be you crying?
and it is bad. But again, I really don't think it is.
Yeah.
But like then do you feel like you're just like taking care of other people around you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's not like I'm not going to have feelings about the news.
You just
I don't know. I'm not typically someone who cries super easily. I
I've
think.
seen you cry.
Okay. Like, when?
Oh, you're gonna like try me?
Yeah. Like at your wedding, I was a blubbering mess. But like my mom was officiating. She was singing the songs, like looking over at you.
It's hard because again, like my memory's just never been the best, but I can see your face crying.
For sure. Like I think I cried like over boys
Yeah.
and like that's probably it. I don't know. I don't know what else I would have like probably cried over. When there's like been big things, I've cried. But
I mean, you cried when you
not-
got your diagnosis.
I didn't cry when I got my diagnosis.
When you came back to
cried
the
when I
house.
came back to the house.
Yes.
But I didn't like cry in the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
when I saw you, we like cried.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really horrible.
Yeah.
I think I'll feel in some ways like whatever happens, just relief. Because like this limbo part
I know it's the
is like
worst.
not
and like
fun.
I feel like who's doing this to us?
Insurance.
No, like in the world.
Oh, you mean like in
Yeah.
the universe?
Yeah, like wait 4 weeks to
Yeah.
be in this place.
Yeah, I know. It's like really challenging. I'm surprised I'm doing as well as I am.
Same.
Yeah. Because I just think about like me before. Like I was not a patient person.
Yeah.
And I was so anxious during my pregnancy. And like, I just remember like such doom and gloom before like every scan, like just always thinking there was something wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's funny. I should have been worrying about what would happen when he actually came out of me.
Right.
He was perfectly fine in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like surprised that I'm like kind of okay.
Yeah.
But like this has just become a new normal.
I know. It's so weird though. I don't like that.
No, me neither. I know I met up with someone yesterday who, well, Erica knows, but for the listeners, that has brain cancer as well. And he's a survivor of like 6 years. And I was just saying like, yeah, it just sucks. Like I just like want to have a normal life. And he was like, yeah, we don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. That's the hardest part to accept, I think. Less so if it comes back and whatever. It's like just the fact that it's even part of the world, our world, my world, your world is annoying.
Yeah, that it just colors like so many, like everything.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't want to be someone who like takes naps in the middle of the day. I would like to be someone who's like productive, and my therapist would be like, what do you mean? You're doing a podcast and you're seeing your clients and you're momming and you're maintaining social relationships and doing all of the things. Yes.
It's just,
I'm just not moving at my normal pace.
Correct. Like
And I don't know if I ever will move at that pace again. Like I don't think that's going to be a normal pace for me anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really a terrible thing to accept.
Yeah. So it's like I'm not in full acceptance. That's the piece where I'm like...
Well, because in order to accept, you have to... It's like your reality keeps changing.
Right.
So it's like hard to keep up with the
Right, like what am I accepting?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because in order to have stopped seeing patients at some point, you had to accept that. And then you were able to then accept, okay, maybe my capabilities have changed. So I think your situation...
Right, it's not like this like linear thing. No. It's not like you like get better and then you resume normalcy. Which I don't imagine that anyone who has a diagnosis, like a cancer diagnosis, maybe feels that way ever. Like I feel like maybe you always have a little piece of you that's feeling worried or anxious, or you still have to get scans every year or whatever it is, even if it's not as frequent as like a terminal diagnosis. But yeah, it's just like all of a sudden, what, am I boring you?
I was up at 4:30 this morning.
I know. We can wrap it up. Yeah, I just think that I don't remember what I was saying.
Sorry, my yawn.
Yeah, your yawn really threw me.
It's Ryan's fault.
No, it's fair. I
don't know. You're okay. Normal life,
acceptance, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so I guess we're going to come back on though.
Yeah, so this is the plan, everybody.
Well, no one's going to know this, right? Like, when are we releasing this?
We're not releasing this until after. Yeah. Right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so like I'm asking you because I don't actually know.
Yeah, so I think what we should do is bring the mics on Tuesday.
Where?
Here.
Oh, okay. I was like, in the doctor's office?
No, not in the doctor's office. Yeah, that day's going to feel really bad. That's going to be a heavy day.
Yeah, what are you going to do in the morning?
I have to fast. And I can't eat like any... I basically have to just like eat chicken breast for like 24 hours beforehand.
Honestly, like I could do that.
You could. It sounds not fun for me, but yeah, so I have to fast.
So what are you going to do? Like, you're going to wake up.
I have a session at 10.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
What the fuck, Jordy?
I have a session at 10.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. My thing's at 1:30. That'll like keep my mind.
I was going to say like go to Balboa Park.
Yeah.
Walk around, feed the ducks.
Oh, that doesn't sound as fun. I think I will go on a walk, probably with the dogs and Hank. But yeah, I'm going to see my client at 10. Okay. Because life doesn't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
And then head over there, and it'll just be a long few hours. I hope they let me listen to music. I'd like to listen to Taylor Swift's new album.
What is Hank going to be doing during those few hours?
Like, I really don't know. I feel like he should definitely be going and stocking up on Swedish candy for everyone who's going to be here after.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need it either way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
a post-scan evening.
Right. What time is it?
It's like 9 something.
Okay, so you've known the results for 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a lot of stress for not a lot of info.
So we had a sleepover last night.
Yeah, we did. we have a flea infestation at our house. Erica got bit like a few weeks ago when she was sitting on the couch.
I got 4 bites
in a row. And she's like, what is that? Do you think you have fleas here? And I'm like, no, our dogs are on preventative medicine. Of course we don't have fleas. And then like, I don't know, a week ago, all of a sudden I see a little flea just jump onto my hand. And I'm like, where did that guy come from? And then I go and I look at Finn, and he doesn't have fleas on him, but he's like bitten himself raw. So I had to take him to the vet. He's allergic to flea saliva. So basically the fleas are biting him, but then dying. But then I realized the infestation was actually coming from outside the house. So we had to have our house exterminated. So we slept at our best friend Alex's house, me, Hank, and Brody for 2 nights this past weekend. And then last night I went back to the place to like clean up before the extermination crew got there. And then I just got sad about having glioblastoma.
I mean, so I'm eating dinner with Ramsey, and I get a text from Hank saying, I don't know what to do because like Jordy wants to sleep at home in her flea infested bed. Like, Hank,
which
where?
Sounds so dramatic.
It was. And I'm like, Hank, where are you? He's at his mom's house with Brody. And he's like, but I really can't go back to a flea infested bed.
He was like scarred, which understood.
I mean, he has a lot of bites.
He has a lot of bites. And like, I get it. Of course.
Then I call you and you don't answer. And I'm like, oh no. Like, I just felt like it was not good.
Yeah.
So
I was vacuuming, to be fair. But I was also in a bad headspace. And when I'm in a bad headspace, I like to be by myself until I'm in a better headspace, where then I can process why I was in a bad headspace.
Yes. And we've decided, though, that the day before scan day is like the day.
Not a Jordy should be alone day.
No,
probably.
Definitely not.
Yeah. It's like a lean on your support day, but like fleas got in the way of that. So it just felt like, you know what? I'm just going to like clean up all the fleas, and then I'm just going to sit in the bath and like doom scroll for like a second on Instagram.
Okay.
Which is what I did
that, then Hank and I ambushed you.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden Hank's like, he texted me saying he was going to call me when he was like done with this meeting, and he calls me and I'm like, hello. And he just says hi. And then I'm like waiting for him to say something, because he said he's going to call me, meaning he has something he wants to say. And then it's just silent for like 40 seconds. And then all of a sudden, like Erica just chimes in and she's like, hi.
Okay. I didn't realize you didn't know I was going to be there.
I was like, hi. and I'm like, am I talking to Hank and Erica? And they're like, yep. I'm just like, what's happening? They're like, you're not sleeping at home. Come sleep in my bed in the most non-sexual way, says Erica. She's like, I'm inviting you for a sleepover. Ramsey will sleep in the other room. Yeah. And so that's what we did. Hank stayed at his mom's house with Brody. I've just realized on the scan days, I like can't be like mom.
Yeah.
Like I can't be mom, and like I can't be like on.
Yeah. Totally fair.
Like, yeah, but like it's gonna happen for the rest of my life,
and so
I'm just like gonna like check out for like,
I mean, it's like 30
days.
It's like 36 hours.
I know, it just like doesn't feel fair.
Well, none of this is fair.
I know, it doesn't feel fair to Brody though.
Oh, but he's with his like the people he loves. It's not like he's like,
I know, but like he FaceTimes me this morning and he says,
oh, that was uncool.
He says, Mommy, you come over, Mommy?
He said, Mommy, do you want to come over?
Do you want to come over? And I was like, of course I want to come over, Brody, but like I can't. Mommy has to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Dr. Julia?
Oh.
I'm like, no, not Dr. Julia, that's your doctor.
Oh.
But another doctor.
Oh.
And then yeah, it's just like I feel sad that like I have to check out, and I don't have to. I could not do that.
Yeah, but then the alternative is being there with him and then not
being present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't feel good either. I just think none of this is fair.
I mean, right, none of it is fair. Right, I didn't choose this, and I get that. It just feels...
It feels shitty.
Yeah, it just feels shitty. Anyways, so had a sleepover 3 nights in a row with my 2 best friends.
Yeah.
And then tonight...
Well, then you drove to soccer bit before.
Oh, yeah, of course. We like got Swedish candy. Basically...
We ate half of it.
That's the tradition. We get Swedish candy typically after a scan, but we were getting it regardless of the results. So, and I had to fast for this scan. So like I was just like really hungry and I couldn't eat any carbs yesterday. So I was just really excited at the candy store. We got a lot of candy.
Yep.
And yeah, and then I went and had my scan, and like honestly the scan went smoothly and whatever.
And this was a different scan because you got an IV to test for like glucose activity.
Yeah, it's basically like looking at like how much glucose uptake there is in the different parts of your brain. And so you can't have any like glucose that you've put in your body.
Right. So you couldn't eat
for like
anything.
Yeah, like over 24 hours.
Your hard-boiled eggs are in my fridge.
Okay, great.
I saw them this morning.
Okay. Well, I'll have one tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, so the scan.
Yeah, so the scan. So what I will say is shout out to the radiology technician who did an amazing job with my IV.
Oh.
I have crappy veins like you do.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you got little veins, huh?"
I love a good like blood needle person.
A phlebotomist?
Yep, that's it. A
blood needle person.
This is why I don't like to record this late at night.
A blood needle person.
A phlebotomist.
Yeah. So at first she got it, and then she was like, I like don't want to blow this vein. I'm like worried it's like not really whatever. And then she was so gentle in the way she like maneuvered it.
Wow.
And made it work.
Wow.
And she didn't have to repoke me, and it didn't hurt at all.
Amazing.
She was great. Anyway, so then got the scan, and there were some days I had like really bad feelings, and then some days where I was like, I don't have like that bad of a feeling. I've actually been feeling a little better recently. Like my headaches have gone away, and like, I don't know, I've just been doing better. But then, like the walk from one part of the hospital to the other part of the hospital.
Okay, so when Alex and I were together earlier today, I was like, I wonder if they're doing the walk right now and like what's going through their head.
Yeah. So like it was like we were good, like got out of the scan. You know what the weird part about this kind of scan was? So it's like really far away from where you actually check in. So they like, bring you a wheelchair.
Ugh.
So they had to like wheel me around.
Oh God, that's
and I was
terrible.
like, I can like totally walk. But they're like, no, like we're wheeling you.
Ah.
And so like they wheeled me in and they wheeled me out.
Oh no.
Whatever. Yeah. It just like felt like not good. And then meet up with Hank. He had gotten me a BLT, which was really nice.
So nice.
Or no, a club sandwich.
Oh, that's like same thing, just in bread form.
Here's a question for everyone. Why does the club sandwich have 3 pieces of bread? What does that extra piece of bread in the middle do?
I don't know. Is that the only sandwich that has an extra piece?
Is it like an illusion of extra sandwich? That's what Hank said. He said it makes you think you're getting more sandwich than you are.
But only club sandwiches do that.
Yeah. Because I was just like, this is a lot of bread for like not a lot of
that's so
things
weird
on the bread. And so I took out the middle piece of bread.
He got a sandwich from
Cedar Sinai.
How was it?
Honestly, it was like pretty good.
Oh, that's good to know.
I also was really hungry. Yeah. So who knows?
We had a code word, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we know that when there's good news, Hank texts us like right away. Good news.
Yeah.
Clear scan. Good news.
And then he'll like text you guys a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of info.
But we wanted like some acknowledgement that if the scan didn't go well, that we would have like some idea. And so the idea was that like Hank would text us an emoji of a heart. Although I never actually like relayed that to him.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told him. I was like, hey, if it's like, he was going to send you a thumbs up with good news and then a heart with bad news.
And I got neither.
What did you get?
I got a text.
You got an explanation because it was like in the middle kind of.
Oh, he was like really on top of it.
Yeah, no, I know. He like goes into like action mode.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because like, so I met up with him for like a quick bite before we went into the doctor's office. It's like as we're sitting there and the minutes are getting closer, it's like we both just like start getting super silent, and I can just see like we're both like going internally. And he's like, at first he was like, I'm not really that nervous, like I'm pretty calm. And then like, 5 minutes later I can see him being like breathing heavy, and like he's like stressing, and he's like, how could I not be stressed? Like,
oh no.
It's just the range of emotions in those like acute little moments. It's like so crazy.
Or you were saying the walk
is just silent. It's just like a silent walk, and we're both in our head. We're holding hands, but like it's like we both know that like it could be really bad.
Yeah.
yeah, so then it's like, you know, they come in, they take my vitals, whatever, and then like we're just sitting in silence. And then the doctor comes in.
Okay, so what did he say? Because
the doctor?
Yeah, like right when he walked in, what was the first thing he said?
So he had the typical look on his face, which I thought was a good thing. So my doctor is very like straight to the point in like a very gentle kind way. So like when there's like a scan, like he'll come in and be like, hey, so the scan looks good. And that's like how he'll deliver the information. The last time I got a scan, he didn't start that way, and it was over Zoom, so it was a little different, but he was like, hey, so how are your symptoms? And like, have you been taking the chemo? Mm-hmm. You know, and I was like, oh, like we're not starting with the good news scan part. Yeah. And then it wasn't good news. It was like, hey, we see a little something. We don't really know what it is, blah, blah, blah. So now this was the PET scan 4 weeks later, and he walks in, he's like, so typically we see, we're looking for two things on these scans. We're looking for growth of the area, and also we're looking for the glucose uptake, because the more glucose that's being used up in the area that we're like looking at that looks larger means that it's more likely to be tumor. So he's like, the interesting thing about your scan is that there's very slight growth on the actual like size of what they're concerned about, but when they did the PET scan and looked at glucose uptake, there's actually no glucose being taken up in that space. So that leads us to believe that like it may not be tumor, but the only way to 100% know if it's tumor is if we do another surgery. Full on craniotomy.
Open your skull up again in the same spot.
Yeah, so like, as I mean, maybe people don't know, but like the type of cancer I have is like very aggressive, and so like typically they treat it very aggressively. So like if they have an inkling that there's regrowth, it's very common to just like open you up and take it out. And I've been on the more aggressive side of like approach, like wanting to do clinical trials, even phase 1 trials, like whatever. But it's just so hard for me with this scan where they're like, where he's like, it really could be either.
It could be pseudo progression.
Yeah, it could be like scar tissue. It could be like changes from radiation to a blood vessel. It could be, you know, whatever. He's like, because it grew a little bit, like we have to continue to be suspicious of it. But like then the PET scan didn't give us any information.
Yeah, it's like really upsetting.
Or actually, it gave us information. It gave us the information that it's not like a super intense malignant tumor situation.
Yeah.
But we just don't know if it's like the start of something.
Very upsetting that medicine can't be certain.
Like there's just no certainty. Like I asked him like, so like what do I do? He was just like, I mean, he was like, I wouldn't be telling you that surgery was an option if it didn't seem like a real option, like a real plausible route to go. He was like, it's very typical for someone in your position who has something show up on a scan like this to have surgery. He's like, you're young, you responded really well last time, it's in a part of the brain that's super accessible, minimal deficit.
It's like no big deal, let's just go in.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna recover just fine. I'm like, not worried. And I'm just like,
6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't hold my kid for 6 weeks, and like now he can scream my name, and that's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I mean, yeah, I'm not like worried that like I won't be okay, but I'm like, I feel like I'm at my peak, which I was saying yesterday. Like I'm at my like peak, I think, probably. Like I'm not going to get better.
I mean, you could.
Like how? You mean like if there was a cure?
If one of the trials you got into ended up being something like the ONC 201 trials.
Sure. So like it would have to be like a breakthrough in medicine, essentially. But without that, I'm not going to get better. I won't necessarily get worse fast, but I'm not going to like get better than I am now. And it's like having surgery, there's a risk that you might be, you know, there might be a complication or a deficit or something. And it's like the smaller your lesion is, the easier it is to operate on. And so like that's the pro of doing surgery quickly when you find something. But then like then like the wait and see approach feels like better for the situation for me. Like do chemo and like just wait and see another 4 weeks. But then it's like, what if it grew a bunch and then it's like harder to operate on, or it's like pressing up against a part of my brain that's like,
yeah, there's so much uncertainty.
There's like so much uncertainty.
I feel like we should do like a pros and cons on a whiteboard.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know.
A cost benefit analysis, I feel like.
Maybe we should ask ChatGPT.
What should I do? I know we were just actually using ChatGPT all night, so.
I'm going to go get my phone.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. It's like, I wish I could like upload my images to ChatGPT and then be like, ChatGPT, should I have craniotomy? Should I have a resection?
Okay. ChatGPT says, given the situation with your friend's GBM where there is a slight enhancement in the activity but no glucose uptake on the PET MRI, it indicates that the area may not be highly metabolically active. However, the marginal growth of the enhancement suggests some activity that needs to be monitored. Deciding whether to proceed with surgery and biopsy is a complex decision that should be made in consultations with her medical team, considering the following factors.
Wow.
Clinical symptoms. Are you experiencing any new or worsening symptoms? This might push towards more aggressive intervention.
Like, I'm not really. So like that's what's hard.
Okay, so let's go to the next. Growth rate. The fact that the enhancement has grown even marginally could be indicative of something that needs further investigation.
Yeah, so that's basically what my doctor said. He was like, if it hadn't grown at all, we wouldn't be talking about surgery, but it has grown a tiny bit. So I'm suspicious.
Yeah. Okay, a few other factors. Overall health.
I'm good.
Your general health and ability to tolerate surgery.
That's why he's saying I'm like a good candidate for surgery.
Previous treatment history. Your past responses to treatments, including surgery, radiation, and chemo.
All positive.
Potential risks and benefits. The risks of surgery, including potential complications and recovery time versus the potential benefits of removing and accurately diagnosing the tissue. So basically, there are also alternative. Okay, so what should she do?
Does it give like an actual definitive answer?
No,
or is it
what
just,
should...
I honestly think it's just giving the same answer that my doctor gave me.
Yeah, I feel like you could just ask ChatGPT.
Right.
It says, get a second opinion.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Consult your medical team. Okay.
I already have like 2 other doctors I've seen in the past, so I'm going to send them my imaging just to get another set of eyes on it and to see like what they think, because it is so murky. Like the decision is huge to like decide to open up your brain again. And I feel like I said to my doctor, I'm like, I'm going to be angry if we get in there and it ends up like not being tumor.
I know.
And then I have to recover from another craniotomy that I didn't even need to have.
So terrible. Okay, so here I asked ChatGPT what they would do.
Okay, they would do the surgery.
Given the slight growth and enhancement and lack of glucose uptake, I would lean towards being cautious yet proactive. This might mean opting for close monitoring if immediate surgery isn't deemed necessary, but being prepared to act quickly if any changes are detected.
I mean, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So then what I said, because I know somebody who they weren't able to like biopsy their tumor, and so they got a blood test, and that blood test revealed that they had a specific mutation that led them to this clinical trial, and now they're stable and doing well, and it's 6 years later. It's not GBM, but something, similar-ish. And I like said to my doctor, like, is there, like, can I do something less invasive? Like, can I get a blood test? And then he was like, well, we don't like do that here at Cedars, but like, yeah, I could like look into that for you, because like we should be able to see your mutation in your blood if.
Right.
And then I'm just like, oh, why? Like, could you have told me that before? Like, what if I didn't ask? And I just like, what, would be having surgery?
I know.
When I could be getting a blood test?
Really upsetting.
But here's the thing. The blood test, if it shows me that I do have the mutation in my system, then that does confirm that there's tumor, which would lead me to surgery. Okay,
wait, but if you had the blood test done a week after surgery, are you saying that it wouldn't show EGFR in your blood?
It should not.
Oh.
It should not.
Really?
Because EGFR doesn't live in healthy cells. No, EGFR V3 doesn't live in healthy cells.
Yeah, but you can have cells but not tumor, right?
No. It's only in malignant cells. So essentially, if I have any EGFR-V3 in my system, then it's a good idea to move forward with the surgery. If I don't, then I'm in the exact same position that I'm in right now. So it's like I can gain more information maybe. It's okay to yawn. It's late.
Oh, I know this is yeah.
This is our problem with having children and being working people and also being sick
and sad.
Hi, other cat.
Okay, so
so I don't know, that's just sort of where we're at. It's like waited 4 weeks, very minimal changes. The PET scan didn't really reveal anything. Well, actually, it just revealed that there isn't some like...
I mean, it was not worst case scenario.
No. Like, he's like, worst case scenario, we wouldn't have even done a PET scan because I would have known that it was a tumor on your MRI. He's like, we wouldn't have needed a PET scan.
Yeah.
But, the PET scan didn't like show us. It just showed us that there isn't anything happening, which is a good thing.
Right. I just don't like that it's grown, which I would like the exact measurements.
Yeah, I know. Erica was like, what were the exact measurements? And I didn't get them, and they didn't. Okay, but then this is the other confusing part, everyone. The radiology report says there's nothing. There's nothing there. Radiology report was like, nope. No evidence of malignancy.
Which is, again, medicine.
It's great, but I'm sitting with my neuro-oncologist having discussions about having a craniotomy, and the radiology report says there's nothing wrong. It says no actual problems.
That's just really terrible. So many people then are not getting adequate care.
Yeah. So I'm just like, that's why I'm just like, okay, let's have another institution just take a look at it.
Yeah.
See what they think. If everyone's on the same page, then I think I'll move forward with the recommendation that they give. But if I get conflicting viewpoints, because
you could get another scan in 4 weeks.
I can get another scan in 4 weeks. Basically, what I could do is as soon as tomorrow, I could start the chemo again, do the 5 days of chemo, wait 4 weeks, get the scan, and then dependent on that scan, enough time would have passed that I could enter into a clinical trial. Enough time between the chemo and whatever, because I have to not take it for 4 weeks to be eligible for a clinical trial. So yeah, I mean, that's the lowest intervention option. And then there's doing that plus the blood test, which I think is probably what I'll end up doing. And then there's just going straight for the surgery, radiation.
When would you do surgery? If he said you go the surgery
route? I literally had an appointment booked for Thursday to start my Keytruda infusion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
And then when would you get the surgery?
I think you get it 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah. Which would really kind of interfere with the whole
our San
trip
Diego
we
trip
have planned. So obviously my brain cancer is important, but
but so it's our trip.
Yeah, our trip's really important too. So I would really like to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically just feeling I was like, wow, I have a lot of decision making to do.
Yeah, you do.
And I am tired of making a lot of decisions.
That from shit and shit.
Yeah, I said in the doctor's office, I'm like, these are just all bad options.
Right.
And he was like, that is one way to look at it.
That's what he said.
I mean, he was being empathic, but he was like, the other way I look at it is we have a lot of options here, and none of them are urgent and dire.
I'm sure he has to be in the positions at times of there's nothing else we can do.
For sure. So to him,
this is best case.
You know what it is? The world is my oyster.
The world is your oyster.
The world is my oyster.
There's a pearl of some kind.
I did think about it though. You know what I think it means? That you can find a pearl anywhere.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
But why did it originate from the clam?
I think that's just a metaphor.
No, but where they opened it oh my God, there's something so beautiful inside.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, something so ordinary found at the bottom of the ocean can have something so beautiful and valuable inside.
Yeah.
This is just me doing some reflecting and interpretation.
No, you're good at that. I'm just wondering what the pearl is here. But
here specifically in my shitty set of circumstances?
Now I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to keep searching for that one. But
that Cedars is very close to Soccer Bit.
I mean, that's a huge win.
It's a huge pearl.
Huge pearl for me. I'm not even supposed to eat sugar, but yeah, huge pearl for me.
Well, like, the celebratory or sad aftermath of a scan always deserves a sweet treat.
Should I share the story about the hospital?
Yeah.
So when I was at the hospital...
that story.
Yeah. No, it's just because we were talking about glucose. So basically the night...
Shit friend Erica over here.
The night before my craniotomy, Erica was there with me till like very late, and she was like, Jordy, have you gotten any apple juice yet? And I was like, no, like I don't really drink apple juice. And she's like, oh, it's so good, ask for some ice and like get some apple juice here. I was like, okay. So I get some apple juice, and then they like come and check my glucose and it's like 300 something, and they're like, is everything okay? Obviously I'm on steroids, so that my glucose is going to be higher, but then also I just chugged a shit ton of apple juice per Erica's recommendation.
I mean, it was good.
It was good, but yeah, my glucose was really high. And then little did I know glucose feeds tumors.
Yeah.
So basically I was bulking up the tumor before it was resected.
I was feeding your tumor unknowingly.
Yeah. And we still do it with the soccer bet. Although there's no tumor there to feed, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, fingers
Otherwise
crossed.
I'll feel bad. And then I'm just going to get you I'm going to make you my own gummies that I make for Emma that has
honestly they are pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
What is it, like beef collagen or something in it?
Gelatin.
Beef gelatin, yeah.
So
that's the story. That's where we're at.
We do have something to look forward to next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should we tell them where we're going?
Well, yeah, I mean, assuming it's happening.
Okay.
99.9% positive.
Okay, so this is another like just funny story, but basically like we make a joke that I like went to Erica's high school
and college
because I was just there all the time. And so
like at my graduation day, people asked you, Jordy,
like why I wasn't walking,
why you weren't walking. And then I remember there was like an after party and because you came for my graduation and they asked why you weren't wearing something and you're like, I didn't go here. And someone was actually shocked.
I'm like the girl in Mean Girls who's like, I don't even go here.
Yeah. Like I was friends with this person and they just didn't know.
Yeah, it's like go there. Really wild. So anyways, what's the funniest is that Erica is like involved with her high school, and basically like someone who works at the high school.
Shout out to Aubrey. Yeah, she's so sweet, and she like wanted to do something really like sweet and nice for us and was able to get us tickets to this concert. But she also thought that you went there.
But she also thought I went to Campbell Hall. So she was like looking for me in the directory and like nowhere to be found. So,
and she said more than your own high school.
I know. We can cut that maybe.
He won't cut that out.
He's not gonna cut that out. But yeah, they've just been like super supportive. So shout out to Aubrey. We're going to see Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, she got us tickets.
And I'm so excited because this was like our jam.
I know.
In middle school and high school, like I know the words to every song.
It's like our angsty teen. Feeding our angsty teen soul.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I have some angst that I could like rock out to right now. So I'm really excited to go just have a fun night listening to good music with my favorite people.
Yeah, me too. So that's a good thing.
So it's something to look forward to. And yeah, I just thought we would do a little check-in, just the two of us, to sort of share where our heads have been at. The last couple of days have been a little bit rough. But, you know, just like moving forward, because like tomorrow's another day.
Although tonight's another sleepover.
Oh yeah. So then what happened was I got tired and I was like, I have to be back here at 8 a.m. to film a podcast. Hank, I'm just sleeping over. Yeah. So Hank drove home. Ramsey's sleeping in the office pull-out couch. And I get the bed with Erica.
Yeah, with a nice pillow.
With a second night in a row. So fingers crossed Erica's baby sleeps through the night and we get some rest. And we'll keep you guys updated as I get more information, and we'll do little updates here and there. Probably not its own episode, but like check-ins in the beginning and end of each episode, just on where we're at with treatment, surgery, trials, all the things.
All right. Well, I love you.
Thanks for eating a lot of candy with me.
Yeah, way too much.
Yeah. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Grief Street. We put out new episodes every Monday. If you'd like to support us, give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel to find the video version of our episodes. Please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We would love to hear from you and get some feedback. If you'd like to contact us, please email griefstreetpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 508-474-3378. That's 508-GRIEFST. Our theme song is Hepcat Jive, courtesy of purpleplanet.com. We'll see you next time.